welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I want to welcome you. This is the Dr. Shabai Show, and on this show we talk about feminism, how feminism has destroyed society, as well as relationship, families, and homes. And so today I want to show you a video of a 50-year-old plus single feminist woman who had a video that she wanted to share with young single women. And we're going to show the video and we're going to come back and talk about it because basically she is lying to young women. So let me show you this video and then we're going to come back and talk about it. But before we do so, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and let's get started.
Someone just told me to hurry up and have kids before it's too late. Too late for what?
If you are 40s and up and a woman, please tell me what your life is like now.
I have to respond to this video. Oh my gosh. So I am 55 years old, child-free by choice. I knew at the age of 7 years old that I would never want to have children. And by the grace of God, that decision has never wavered. I also knew that if I ever got to be the old age of in my 50s like I am now, and if I ever wanted kids, I could always adopt, right? So what does it look like for me being child-free by choice?
Okay, so the first thing you notice, they say a woman who is childless. They don't use the word who's not married. They just say who's childless. But that to me is a red flag right there. Just say what it is for real. Someone who is not married and they do not have a family. So to me, that it already starts off as being a little deceptive because no one wants to say, oh yes, I'm not married and I don't have a family. No, they're going to say, oh, I'm single by choice and I'm childless by choice. So let's break down what she says.
At the age of 7, since the age of 7, it has meant a life of complete and total freedom, a life of joy, a life of non-aging, as we can see. There's no filler or Botox in this face. It has meant that I was able to retire from corporate America at the age of 38 years old, to travel the world and live abroad in luxury and style, and I'm still doing that all these years later, all these decades later. I live abroad, I travel, I have businesses, I have money. Oh my God.
And so when she talks about money, it's almost like in a masculine manner. Yes, money is needed in order to take care of yourself, but she makes it sound like she works so hard and that, she is able to afford anything that she wants because she works so hard. And I'm going to tell you that is not attractive to men. It makes her look like she is competing or on the same level as a man. And that is one reason probably why she is single. Yes, women need to be able to take care of themselves. That's just a basic human necessity. But to sit up here and tell women, oh yes, I make so much money, that is not what most women, feminine women, is what gets them going. What gets them going is living in their feminine energy. Yes, it's important to take care of yourself because you never want to be in a situation where you are in a very stressful financial situation and the only reason why you're dating a man is because of your financial situation. That is not living in your feminine energy. You can't. This to me is a red flag right there when she talks about how much money she has. Yeah, people do that because they're hiding something else or they have some deficiencies or insecurity. Because most women who are feminine do not go around bragging about how much money they make because that is a very masculine trait. So let's go on.
Gosh, I don't have stress, I don't have worry, I have joy. It's amazing being child-free for me. Now, to all of your friends and family that are telling you that you're gonna somehow be jealous of those that have children and you're gonna have all this regret, don't believe them. What they're telling you is a total lie and it is a complete and total scam. Trust me, those of us that are child-free by choice have never looked at our friends that have kids and said, oh, I really wish I would have made that choice. No, said none of us ever. In fact, people that have children, and God bless you. You guys, parenthood is one of the hardest things you could ever do in life. God bless all parents, Lord knows. But parents look at us that are child free and they channel that as jealousy of us because we have our freedom. So I just call it as it is.
Now, what she may be talking about are single mothers may be looking at her and talking about her freedom. Yeah, because they're single mothers. I've never heard a woman who is married who has help in the household who regrets having children. Never, ever. Every woman I know that's married loves her family. Yeah, of course they have some issues ups and downs, but what family does not? But she never has that envy of a single woman who doesn't have children and who's not married. That's cap. That's a lie.
Don't hate the player, hate the game. So, what I want to say to you is do you make your own choices, live your own life, and enjoy your peace. And if you're soliciting advice from these people, please don't solicit it. And if they offer it, which people tend to do that have children, why don't you just like go raise your kids and be happy and do you? It's so weird. It's really weird, people. It's weird. If they give that advice, just let them know that you don't need it and you're good. So I hope this helps. Being child free at 55 years old means complete and total joy, more choices. You know, last summer, because Mexico where I live is so hot, I moved to Istanbul, Turkey for the whole summer, had a ball. This summer, I'll be in Europe gallivanting around, having a free hot girl summer. So being child free equals freedom. I wish the best to you. And if you decide you want to change it in the future, you can always freeze your eggs now and have kids later by surrogate or what have you. You can always adopt or you can get a puppy. All right, I hope this helps.
Young women, please don't let an older woman, especially a feminist older woman, trick you in believing that she is living her best life. Yeah, she may be having some fun, this, but I'm telling you, when you get older, you want to have someone to check up on you. You want to have someone that if you had a bad day that can call you and say, ask you, or you just want that companionship and love that you just can't really get when you're out here in your late days trying to find someone. And believe me that she is not telling you everything because there has to be some days where she is lonely, and there's also an article that talks about how a lot of older women are drinking. And once I find that article, I definitely want to put that in my description box because there's a reason for that. And so I also want to talk about this article in Best Life, and it is related to Paulina Povaskova. Everyone knows who she is. She was married to the lead singer of the Cars, and she was a supermodel. She was like one of the very first supermodel. And it's so interesting because she is really trying to go on this crusade of ageism. And let me just kind of go over some highlights of this article. And I definitely put the article in the description box. So she says, so a life goes on for Pauline has been consistently outspoken about aging and about the way our society becomes even more unfair to women as they get older. And in a new interview with The Time, the supermodel shared more of her thoughts and personal experience, including how aging has affected the way people interact with her at 56. And so she says that she feels invisible. And when interacting with men in particular, even though she herself feels confident and sexier than she's ever had, her confidence is evidenced by the provocative photos that she puts up on her Instagram account. And I've heard about that because a lot of them are naked. So to her, making a clear point about our culture viewed older women in comparison to younger women. And in the interview, Paulina also says that she wishes women could come together to fight against ageism. But at the same time, she understands why some women undergo procedures to make themselves appear younger than what they are. In the interview, Paulina explained that when she goes to parties, she's ignored by men. Even though she's interested in flirting and putting herself out there as a single woman, nobody believes me unless they see it. She told the publication, my girlfriend thought I was joking at first. Now they all witness it. She continues I am not completely invisible. I walk into a party, I try to flirt with guys, and they'll just kind of walk away mid sentence to pursue women in their 20s that are younger. And I'm very single. I'm dressed up and I'm out and I'm making an effort. Realizing that this has what's happening made her feel bad about herself. Like the boiled frog, you don't know until you're gone. Until you're gone. She explained it was around the same time her marriage fell apart, and that's when her husband no longer was interested in me. And I started looking around. I realized that I was invisible to society. So yeah, she married her husband, the lead singer of the Cars, in 1989, and they separated in 2017. So she had a brief relationship with Aaron Sorkin. She wants women to fight ageism as a united front. Pauline talks about ageism and unrealistic beauty standards on her Instagram account. She also posts up all sorts of photos of herself, nude pictures to ones which she's wearing no makeup. The article goes on to talk about that she even posted pictures of her gray hair, and that she said most of the great comments came from women, but most of the negative comments came from men, and that men really need to start thinking about ageism and how it affects, women, especially older women. So I just want to pull out a few things from this article. First of all, it's just interesting how women who now they're older, now they want to call out um, things that that were going on when they were younger, but it didn't matter because it didn't affect them. Because here she was, a top model, making millions and millions of dollars with no education, no background, just because of her beauty, and she, that beauty caused her to come across the past of her ex-husband, which was the lead singer of the Cars, and that is because of her beauty and her, at the time, her profession, and that's what was important back then. I mean, it's still important now, but I'm saying that's because she was at the prime of her time. So, she wasn't concerned about ageism then, but now since she's an aging model, and the only thing that she probably, knows is being beautiful. And in our society, youth is beautiful. I mean, yes, you can still be older and be attractive, but of course, men, that's what their preference is. And something that this article does not, touch on is that when you're an older woman, and yes, when she was in her 20s, because she got married pretty young, she was at the top of her game, So, yes, the men that her choices were different. So, you can't expect to have the same exact choices as you did when you were 20 when you're 56. I'm sure the men that she wants to date are not your average Joe. They're not, working at the bank or working, they're millionaires, billionaires, or whatever, so you can't have the same exact choices. And yes, ageism is not good. You don't want to discriminate on someone, if they have a job and you only want to hire someone because they're younger. And but ageism is illegal, in the real world. But we're talking about the beauty world. How can you have a 56-year-old woman compete against a 20-year-old woman for a beauty product? People want to look like the 19-year-old woman. And how can you tell men, what is their preference? Standard of beauty needs to change. Well, did it need to change when you were 22 and you were considered beautiful then? Did you want to change it back then? But why you want to change it now? Because you don't reap the benefits of it. That's why you want to change it. And you can't make men feel what they don't feel. That's just like with body positivity movement. You can't tell men, you need to accept fat women. They're gonna be like, I don't accept it. I don't date them. So that's it. I mean, what can you do? Men are the ones that make the decision. Again, no one wants to see fat people discriminated against, but your personal love interest, who you chose to pursue, that's your personal choice. That's what your right is. You have a right to have preferences, and that's your right. There's certain things in this article that I feel like are lacking and missing. And then another thing is when a woman who was in her 20s and the only thing they had was her beauty, everyone knows that you have to reinvent yourself, because you no longer can be known for just your beauty and you're 56 years old. What skills can you bring to a man? What value can you bring? You can't just say, "Oh, I'm a former model." You have to be able to bring value to him, not just being arm candy on his arm back when you were 20. It is no longer just about looks when you're 56. So that's what I wanted to say, and that's why I think it's so important that young women don't get tricked by older women. Don't let them, trick you into believing that this is not your time and this is your time, this is your prime, this is when you want to find a mate. You don't want to be that woman who's 56 that's looking for someone. You want to find that person when you're younger, and you want to go on that race with him. You don't want to be that woman and waiting at the finish line, because they most likely not going to pick you. But if you are with them as they go through that race and as they build their fortune up, then yeah, you will reap that benefit. And that's the thing. Most men don't hit the financial strive until they're in their 40s and their 50s. So if you're with them when they were in their 20s and they had nothing, then yeah, they will most likely believe that you love them for who they are and not because of their money. So that's my video. I would love to hear what you think. Please, please like this video, subscribe to my channel. Until next time, I will see you later. Bye.